Welcome back to Greels, Reels, everybody, the podcast where I get to chat with athletes that I've gotten the pleasure of getting to know through working in the crazy world of sports. Today, I am joined by a All-Canadian representing Team Canada on the rugby stage and a national championship. All right, guys, I just have my wisdom teeth out. Sometimes some words are going to be a little bit hard to say, but a national champion with U Sports, U Ottawa GGs. Women's rugby, Ondo. How you doing, Ondo?
Good.
Okay, so me and Ondo just finished a little Dollarama scavenger hunt video. It was out last night. Make sure to check it out. It was a lot of fun. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty nerve-wracking carrying everything and stuff, and I kept thinking like the timer ran out and like that I didn't see it and stuff, but it went well.
Yeah,
It was fun.
I mean, I think it went well. I mean, you did come out with the W because I may or may not have cheated. I definitely did cheat. But...
Yep.
Okay, but we'll get into it, and we'll just you've got a pretty interesting background where you've moved around a lot. So let's get into that, and if you could explain a little bit of that.
Well, basically, like my mom's been working for the Canadian Embassy for like most of my life, and so both my parents were diplomats, so we moved around a lot since I was a kid. I lived in Bangladesh in Asia and Mali, and I spent most of like my, I guess, adolescence in Senegal. I was there like 6th grade through 9th grade, and then I moved back to Gatineau afterwards. And I was going to French school in Gatineau, and I hated it there, to be honest. And because I hated it and just going back to like studying in French and stuff, I just wasn't really doing well in school and stuff. So I asked my parents to move to Nova Scotia actually to go to boarding school, because I had two friends from Senegal who were at boarding school there and who really enjoyed it, and also had some interest in rugby, and I knew that school like had rugby and stuff. So yeah, I asked my parents to move there and ended up finishing my high school there and came to U Ottawa.
Fair enough. Nova Scotia, East Coast, West Coast, not too far from Newfoundland. But so where was that where the rugby love and start for the game kind of started? Or
Yeah, so it's weird actually, like my brother did rugby in high school, and it always like I guess interested me and stuff. And then my two friends were also playing rugby over there, and it's just, I don't know, there's something that like drew me to the sport, I guess. So then moving there, I moved there like mid-year, like in March or something, and started school there like after March break and started rugby right away and absolutely loved it.
Yeah, what about the game, like what do you love about the game?
I think then what drew me to it was like definitely the contact part,
Yeah.
which is funny, but in high school that's what like I was looking, I guess, forward to and stuff, and now I just, I don't know, I like still love it, I guess.
Well, I mean, now it's like, I mean, you're a part of this team that's pretty distinguished and has, solidified themselves as probably one of the best in terms of like, not just performance but consistency in all of Canada for university. The consistency standpoint for people who don't know, 4 national medals in 4 years.
Because we've had, for my 4 years here, we've had national medals, and then I think 1 year before that too.
Yeah.
That's when because they got third. They got third, and then the year I came, we got second, and then first, and third again, and third again. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what goes into all that consistency?
I think, I guess with our team, we focus a lot on like the culture and stuff, and because the level is high, like obviously we try and hold each other accountable and stuff, and it's definitely it can be a lot like of pressure at times and stuff, because other teams at the school and other athletes tend to like almost expect that from us, and that puts that much more pressure. Like this year we were hosting nationals, and with the soccer team winning nationals last year at home, it brought extra pressure for us to do well and to, I don't know, potentially win nationals. We ended up placing third. But yeah, that was definitely really stressful. And knowing that like all our friends and stuff would be watching, and yeah, so it's great, like obviously the consistency, but it can add a pressure of its own for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you kind of look back on these past 4 years, so are there any fond memories, any funny stories along the way that make it seem all worth it?
Oh, definitely winning nationals in 2017 would be like one of like the highlights of like my times at like with the GGs and stuff. Cause yeah, that was just it was just unreal, especially considering like the conditions that we were playing in. Like it was like minus, I don't know, 20 in Lethbridge.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the highlights. Yeah.
Funny enough, you guys were in so when you won that national championship, you were in Lethbridge, Alberta, and when I was in like grade 10, I did a Europe trip over. We went to like Barcelona, Italy, Barcelona in Spain, Saint-Terre in Italy, and then Nice in France. And we were like paired up with a bunch of students from Lethbridge, Alberta.
Really?
Yeah, so it was pretty funny when I saw that you guys were going there. But you talked about the conditions that you had to play through that tournament, and one thing that I found really cool is on your national championship ring, you have the a snowflake.
Yeah, we do.
from there, but I mean, one thing when you think of championship rings, it's like you think of something that just takes over the whole hand, like very much just like is massive. But for you guys, you took a little alternate route when designing that. What was up with that?
Yeah, I think our leaders and our coach Jen really wanted something that we'd be able to like, I guess, wear more often, because we like didn't like the idea of just having like a championship ring that like people usually just like store them away and whatever. And for us, I don't know, we thought it was a big accomplishment and wanted something that would tie into our season, and at the same time like that we'd be able, like I said, to wear a lot. And that's why we got like fight on the side, and then we got a quote that we were really like into that year, I guess, which is good enough, isn't it? And
For sure. No, I mean, it's what I find incredible about it is that like you guys can wear it every day, right? Which is pretty interesting, because most people it comes out in special events and stuff like that, but it's something that's so subtle that speaks so much that you can literally wear it anytime.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we'll look at just in terms of the individual successes that you've had. I mean, first team All-Canadian, second team All-Canadian. How important is that for you to kind of keep yourself to that standard of play?
Honestly, in like the first and I guess second year that I got that, there was, I don't want to say less importance to it, like it's just less pressure, I guess, to it. And I was obviously like really excited to have gotten that. But yeah, no, I think this year there was a lot of added pressure. Just, like your friends make comments like about it and stuff before, like leading up to the ceremony and all the banquet. And so I put a lot of, I'd say like extra pressure on myself to like get it, or to like try and like do my best, I guess, to get that recognition. But yeah, no, in the early years it was alright.
Yeah. So what are some ways that you just kind of handle that the pressure?
Definitely like reminding myself that just like getting it once is like already an accomplishment, I guess, of its own. And this year I didn't want, like, it was like both between me not wanting like that to define whether I had a good year or not, and me still wanting that recognition, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's one of those where it's like at the end of the day, like athletes are always kind of focused on team success, so it's just like you never really think of, oh yeah, this is something I'm going for at the beginning of the year, because it's always like, team success. Let's get that RSCQ championship. Let's get the the national later on, and let's have success at that tournament. But you guys had an interesting year in the RSCQ this year.
Yeah, we had a very different year, like different start than we usually do. Usually we've been pretty much undefeated for like a few years now in regular season. And then this year we started with a tie against Sherbrooke, which was very like, I guess like shocking for all people on campus and our team too, just because we had been undefeated for so long. So that was really nerve-wracking, especially that we were hosting too. Like that added pressure to that as well. But yeah, no, the season went really differently. We had some losses, but we came back around for playoffs and ended up having a really good performance during playoffs and stuff. And yeah, nationals was a little tougher, but
yeah,
it's expected.
Sure. One thing I found, because I've seen teams go on massive winning streaks for 3 or 4 years where they don't lose, but then that streak is finally snapped, and then they kind of fall into a little bit of a rut there. But you guys kind of seem to still progress and still be able to perform. What do you think that accounted for that there?
Honestly, I think we had a lot of like meetings, I guess, about like I mentioned earlier, like we focus a lot on our team culture, and I think after that loss we realized that maybe we needed that to like push ourselves even further, I guess. And we had to like make sure to not be complacent, I guess, also with the way our season was going, and to be like still try and like hold ourselves to that standard. And yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
answers the question.
One thing I want to talk about there now too is that you've been able to represent Canada on the rugby stage. How what's that mean? What's that like?
Yeah, I got to represent Canada after my first year at the university. I played for the U20 team, and honestly, it was pretty unreal. But partly because it was at home.
Yeah.
And we actually played on the Lease field, so a lot of like my teammates and like friends and family could come to watch, which I guess it's like that was a kind of huge privilege. And I think playing for Canada then it helped me with a lot of like with my performance in my second year, and I ended up playing a lot more like confidently, and like just because of how like my tour went with them. And yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, it's funny. The idolization for Canadian kids is, you grow up and you play for Team Canada, right? Most people kind of dream of it in hockey, but whenever you can do it in any sport, it's absolutely incredible, right? So I mean, kudos to you. I'm jealous.
It actually got me to like the position I play now. Like before, I never played that position, and I hated it. And then played fullback for them, and absolutely started loving it. And then
explain that fullback position, because I mean, for me, I find rugby is as a spectator, sometimes you get lost because people are separated on the field sometimes, and then everybody kind of comes together. But yeah, how do you play that fullback position as so effectively as you do?
So I'd say for fullback, it's very different than like other positions, just because like you have to like often involve yourself, and like whereas like for other positions, they're often like in the bunch, or I want to say, and for fullback and back three, it's like you have to like work to like put yourself in the play or whatever it is, or even like chatting like in between plays, because you're very isolated on the field. And that was one thing that was really tough in Lethbridge. We had to like make sure to keep talking because it was really cold, and to make sure to keep talking to each other and stuff. Yeah, I guess with that, it's a lot of, I find it's a very, like, it can be a very stressful position. I'm pretty like relaxed like as a person, so it's all right, but like it can be a lot of like pressure. Well, like when you make a mistake, it's like everyone can see it just because you're so isolated. So I guess having that like next play mentality, which I've struggled with at times kind of, and worked with Seeger and stuff on how to like, I guess focus on like the next play more, and just like when you make a mistake, like just getting back in the zone and stuff. And that was one thing I struggled with, but yeah.
Because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I find for me, I always try and to understand sports. I'm like, okay, how is this relative to a sport that like I know? And I mean, I know football pretty well, and in my sense, in terms of a defense, it almost feels like a little bit of a safety position where you're the last man back, and you know you're kind of overseeing all the coverage and
essentially, and you're like the last line of defense, I want to say, and so because of that, like if you miss a tackle, like it ends up in a try. So there's that. For sure.
It almost in the same sense too, like a hockey goalie. You know, you're the last man back, and if it goes through you, then that's it. If you hear a little dog walking around, that's Charlie.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, Charlie's a welcome guest here, and he was probably the big winner of that Dollarama scavenger hunt, because there's a lot of toys that got picked up, and tennis balls and whatnot. But
little Teddy.
Yeah, he's a quiet dog though, eh?
It's right now.
Yeah.
Usually not. Yesterday he was kind of going crazy with the snowstorm and stuff.
When you got Charlie 2 years ago?
Yeah, I got him, I think after my second. 2 years ago, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
It was kind of an impulsive decision, I want to say.
I remember you showing up to the rugby field just with this dog, and it was like, is this her dog?
Yep. Yeah, I had just adopted him. No, I guess like it was after exams, during exam time or something. I was like super, like I just went to like a SPCA, I guess, and I was just like, oh, let's go like look at puppies, whatever. Ended up seeing him and walking him, and then wanted to adopt him. I was like, okay, I'll sleep on it. Came back the next day, adopted him after an exam, and
I mean, hey, fair enough. Yeah. It works out. But what's Charlie been like as a student athlete?
He's been he was a little tougher his first year. He'd rip a lot of stuff, never usually my own, well, except for like shoes, but it was my roommate Gab's stuff that he would always rip, because he would leave his stuff around, and so my roommate hated him. My other roommates liked him though, but
fair enough.
He's good now. He's better. Sean trained him a lot, so
that's awesome. Okay. So this is the part of the podcast where I like to hand over the discussion to you. So whatever you want to talk about, whether it's life lessons, a story that you think you'd like to share, or anything like that, the table's yours.
Ooh. Well, I was talking about like the pressure, like coming into my fourth year this year, and I think a lot of it also came from like I want to say from like I had like, I guess like a bit of a turning point where I wanted to like stop being like an athlete that just like I want to say like coasts and stuff. And there was like a lot of conversations in my third year with my coach and with other people and stuff, where like even I think Seeger at some point where like figuring out how I wanted to do that kind of, but then that I ended up putting a lot of pressure on myself and stuff. But I think it was definitely like a turning point in my time as a GG and stuff, and it made me like end up enjoying playing a lot more, just because I was giving it more and training like more, and like trying to because I realized I didn't want to like get to my 5th year and be like, oh, I didn't like play to my potential and stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like, don't coast. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's taking yourself to a higher standard than what anybody else would see, because I mean, at the end of the day, you're probably the individual who knows your full potential the most, right? Like, yeah, I think, is that what you were?
Yeah, I guess that's what I was getting at. And like, yeah, because with my personality, I guess people tend to think like I'm I give a shit, I guess, about stuff or whatever, but like I really do, and I'm harder on myself than other people are, but people don't know that kind of. But yeah, that helped me regain focus, I guess, as an athlete. And yeah.
No, I mean, you gotta, at the end of the day, when the final buzzer sounds, it's like, how much did you leave on the table, right? And
yeah.
Most people want to say that there was nothing left there.
Yeah, and I got 1 year left now, so.
Yeah, true. So, any? Do you think are you gonna try for the pro stage in women's rugby anywhere, or?
Oh, I don't really know the like details of it, like you know, but I always thought about going to play in Europe for a year.
Okay.
But yeah.
What part of Europe would you play in?
I have no idea. Maybe France.
France?
South of France would be pretty interesting.
I love France as
a
country. There's this little French island off of the coast of Newfoundland too, like Saint Pierre and Miquelon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And it's like you need your passport to go there, and it's like it's France.
Really?
But it's like, you know, you go to my grandparents' house, and it's like a 30-40 minute ferry, and you're
That's
in
so
France.
weird.
Yeah. Oh, I know, it's crazy. And like if you go there too for like a hockey tournament, like it's all like European sized rinks and stuff like that, so it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, I love France. I've been there, but then I've also been like Nice, as we mentioned before.
Yeah, I did a nice Europe tour.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that'd be pretty cool to see you on the pro stage in France. I mean,
yeah. I gotta think about what I want to do here.
Yeah, for sure. You've still got 1 more year left. Where are you setting your expectations for this coming season?
This 5th year?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. I think our team is gonna do. Like, I'm very like hopeful for our team. I guess like I think we were really young this year, but that's almost like it's crazy to think that we did that well being that young, because we only had like a couple 4th, 5th years. Like most of our team was like 1st and 2nd years, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to see how these players have like developed over the off season and stuff. And yeah, no, I think it should be a good year for us.
Okay.
And hoping individually it's a good year too, I guess.
No, for sure. All right, well that wraps up another episode of Greels Reels. Thanks so much, Ondo, for doing this with me.
No problem.
Yeah, hope you had fun.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, guys. Okay, so make sure to check out the YouTube video on my YouTube channel. It got posted last night. And yeah, other than that, make sure to check out Ondo on social media and follow along with the GG's Women's Rugby. They're one of my favorite things throughout my time at the university has been able to watch this group just succeed year after year and perform at the level they do, and it's been a real treat. And just, you know, I still remember freaking out when they got their first national championship, and it's definitely not going to be their last. So make sure to give them a follow. And yeah, in the meantime, stay best kind.